This podcast is brought to you by Life Strength and Health, a wellness center that helps you to improve and optimize your health using a natural and holistic approach. To learn more about us or to schedule an appointment, just visit our website at lifestrengthandhealth.com. So let's dive into the episode.
Over the years, we started to look at a trend with our clients, and what we noticed is that I would say 90% of them, no matter what the problem was, no matter what the issue that they were having, it still came back to something being off with their guts. And it wasn't until we got the guts balanced that they were able to really see real and true results.
This is episode number 317 of the Life Strength and Health podcast. I'm Kim and I'm joined with Jamal.
Greetings, everyone.
And
peace and blessings.
Yes. And thank you for joining us this episode. This kicks off episode number 1 of our preseason series. In the next upcoming episodes, we're going to be reintroducing ourselves over the next couple of weeks so you can get a better understanding of who we are, what we provide, and how we help people to improve and optimize their health. In this episode, we're going to be talking about who we are and our approach to wellness so you can get a better understanding of how we help people.
Yeah, I think this will be a really good opportunity for a lot of new people to just get to know us. A lot of times we get clients that have been listening to us, listen to the podcast for a long time before they finally make the decision to come see us.
Right.
And when they do, they feel like they already know us. So, this is a good opportunity to just give you some insight on our journey and just our thought process behind why we do what we do, why we incorporated the programs that we incorporate, and just how they're helping people.
Right. On the flip side to that, we also have a lot of people that come in for a particular service. And then once they meet with us, they say, oh, wow, I didn't know that you did all this.
Right.
So we want to address both of those potential people as well.
Yes.
So as I mentioned in this episode, we're going to really just cover, who we are and our approach to wellness. And we are a wellness center located in New Jersey. And our main mission and purpose in life is to help people to improve and optimize their health using a holistic and natural approach. And this is something that's very near and dear to both Jamal and myself because this is how we live. We practice what we live. And it has been life-changing for me. Growing up, I didn't have a lot of health challenges or things of that nature. I grew up eating home-cooked meals made with love. And as I mentioned, I didn't have a lot of health challenges growing up. But as I got older and working in my first career and being unhappy, and I ate away my pain, I was eating emotionally, and I got away from my foundation of being an athlete and just being active, being fit, and feeling great. I got away from that, and incorporating and living a natural and holistic lifestyle really gave me my life back and made me feel good again. And it sparked me to go into it as a profession. So this is something that's just very near and dear and how we live. And we want to educate people and help people to improve and optimize their health using a natural approach because it was so pivotal for me in my own life.
Yeah, knowing what you know now and then reflecting back is just so different because, growing up, I didn't think that I had health challenges. And if you ask my parents, they would say that I grew up as a healthy child. Mm-hmm. But just understanding the body differently now and thinking about my childhood, I actually did have health challenges. One of the things that stands out for me was I had gut issues. Mm-hmm. I suffered from severe constipation. I was, as a child, I remember from a child all the way to my adulthood until I actually began this particular holistic health journey. I was only moving my bowels once, maybe twice a week.
Wow. Yeah.
And, I remember telling my parents, and they thought that didn't move as much as I should because, like my dad, he would joke that he moved his bowels every day. And I remember as a child thinking, wow, that's crazy. Like, how could someone
that's
go?
Too much.
Yeah, how could someone go every single day? And I actually thought it was disgusting. You know what I mean? That was disgusting. Like, that's disgusting. Like, how could you possibly go to the bathroom every single day? And it's deep because we actually had a client, a client of ours actually said that to me when I told her that she should be moving her bowels every single day, ideally with every single meal. So not just one bowel movement a day, but ideally to have more than one. Like, she actually thought the idea of that was disgusting, you know? So it's deep how at a young age, we are conditioned to think that abnormal is actually normal.
Normal, right?
Yeah. And I had a bone condition. It's called, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, Oskenschlatter, and it's when the leg bones don't grow at the same pace. So the femur grows faster than the lower parts, and it protrudes through, and it's very painful, and you can't like just sit on your knees or be on your knees because it's just very painful. And that never got addressed, but there was a reason why my bones were growing abnormally. That wasn't really looked at. And then I suffer from a lot of cavities.
Right.
That's
right.
Yeah, we look at cavities in children and just say, oh, that's a part of youth, like that's normal behavior for children to have cavities. And it's not like my parents, I mean, don't get me wrong, I had my share of sweets, but it's not like they let me overindulge in them. They tried to practice moderation, maybe not my level of moderation now, but they tried to practice they tried to practice levels of moderation. But still, I suffered from cavities. I got things filled. I still have mercury in my mouth now from, getting them filled when I was younger that I would like to have removed at some point. I did have and I could name more, but I did have these challenges growing up, and I just got this clean bill of health, even though I know good and well that things weren't right. Right. And me looking at a child or a young person that walked the same path as I did when I was young, at this point, I could tell the things that they're going to deal with as they get older. Right. And those were the things that I started to deal with as I got older. So this health thing is it's all interconnected, and it's really interesting when you really look at it.
Right. And just touching on your story, you're looking at your health not on, like I mentioned, I didn't have major health challenges, issues, but there were subtle things that can snowball over time. And when you're taking a natural approach, you want to address things when they're at their subtle state.
Right.
Like that is what we want to drive home. But a lot of times people see these miracles and these stories that people have in these terminal illnesses, and they take a natural approach. And there are those success stories. But what people really don't understand is the amount of work and habits and transformation that people have to put into their life. That's very difficult to do. But when your back is against the wall, you have no choice. And a lot of times people can't even change then because it's just so much of a drastic change in lifestyle and mindset that you have to shift into. So when you take more of a natural approach, you want to address things at its subtle state. There's different health assessments and things that we utilize during when people get consultations that can help pick up these subtle things that if you don't address it, will definitely grow into something that's more of a health challenge. And unfortunately, this is something that we've seen time and time again.
Right. And just to back up a little bit, and I want to bring it full circle and connect to the point that you're making. When I was growing up, I was always into health to some degree. Like my mom was really into health and natural remedies. She had a juicer early, like she had the old Jack LaLanne juicer, and she had a juicer before that. Right. And she was juicing before juicing was normal. before it was normalized. She was taking us to a juice bar before there were juice bars. She used to take us to a health food store, and in the back, they had a juice bar back there, and they only did papaya juice. Like, that's it.
That's it.
No other juice, it's just papaya juice. But it was always look forward to going there. So it was a part of me at an early age, but I was in pursuit of mainstream health, which is exercise and eat right. But eat right is the standard American diet of health. That's what it was. So in following that path and learning those things, I didn't see major improvement that really moved the needle with people's health.
Right.
Like, they would practice these things. They would follow the standard American diet. They would exercise. They would do the things that they were told, but they were still getting these health issues. They were still getting diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, like all of the common things. They were still getting them, especially our people, Black people.
Right.
I'm just noticing how sick we have been overall compared to the rest of the country.
Especially as we get older.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of these challenges that we're having, even when we're doing what we're told to do, like we're still having this issue. So that just sent me on the path of there has to be more to this picture. It has to be deeper.
Right.
And, you know, when you ask a question and you're expecting an answer, it's answered. And that's when the whole holistic health modality and field just opened up to me. I realized that I've been in and out of it all along because the things that my mother was doing, juicing and natural remedies and herbs and things like that, all of that stuff is a part of the holistic health world.
Right.
Doing those things. So I was familiar with it already. I just didn't have a name for it.
Right.
Because like when our grandparents and great grandparents, when they were practicing natural remedies, they didn't call it holistic health. It was just a way of life. Yeah.
Right.
It's just what they did. It was just natural living. That's what they did. So really starting that path of understanding really sent me on this journey that I'm on now. And one of the things that I realized in my studies was that your body has a very unique language. It has a way of speaking to you, and it speaks to you at a very early time in your journey when things are just starting to shift and starting to be off. Your body begins to communicate that with you, but we're so disattached from our bodies that we don't understand the language. It's not until our body is screaming at us that we finally listen. When the body is screaming at you, it's too late. Like, the problem is already here. So connecting it to what you're saying about just our overall health, when you're sick, you've been getting sick for a very long time.
Right.
Like, when there's something wrong with you, it doesn't matter what it is. Like, it's something that's been developing. I mean, obviously something like a cold or a flu, that's different. You know, yeah, that's going to, build up over a couple of days. But if you're dealing with something chronic, like if you go to the doctors and they diagnose you with something, whatever it is, it's something that has been accumulating for a long time, and you just didn't notice it. You weren't taught to understand the language of what your body was saying when it was just whispers. When it was whispers that, hey, you're headed toward diabetes. Like, we don't realize that because it could be something so subtle. It could be something as subtle as all of a sudden you notice that you're getting up in the middle of the night with frequent urinations, and you didn't do that before.
Right.
And you just accept that as normal. And now that's just a part of your routine. Now you get up in the middle of the night and you just go to the bathroom, and you do this for years. Or you wake up in the middle of the night and you're sweating, right? You just make sure it's cool in the room. We don't look deeper at these things, but the entire time your body is telling you, hey, your metabolism is off. Hey, your blood sugar is off. Hey, you're insulin resistant. But we don't pay attention to those things. And then we get the news that we're diabetic or we're pre-diabetic, and it just feels like it came out of nowhere. But it's something that's been developing the entire time.
Right.
So throughout this journey, we've been fine tuning how we look at the body and our approach. We've been in the field for 20 years now. And, even in learning holistic health and getting a holistic health education and all of the different modalities that we've had an opportunity to learn, what we notice is that like in real time, it still looks different.
Right.
Like you can learn all of the things in books. You could read all of the information, the memes and everything. When it comes to like actually applying it to your body, it doesn't work like that.
Right.
It really doesn't. And there's things that we've learned in our study in school that it's just not effective. It doesn't really work. It makes sense. It should work, but it doesn't. And that just led us down the path of understanding that, it works with some people, but it doesn't work with everyone.
Everyone's life is different. Each person, we're our own individuals.
Right.
So one size doesn't fit all.
Yeah. So we got a chance to really see what works, what doesn't work, how each individual needs their own care, and just slowly fine tuning over the years of being able to give people the type of support that they need. We listen to concerns when our clients would go to other practitioners, other health centers, working with their medical doctors. We listened to the challenges that they were having.
Or why clients that have worked with us in the past, why didn't they succeed?
Right.
What could we have done differently to help that person?
Exactly. Yeah. What type of support? Like why would people start programs and not finish them
and fall off the face of the earth?
Just fall off. So it was just us steadily course correcting, reflecting on ourselves and how we can improve what it is that we do that led us to the path that we're on.
And also add on, like you said, or like we both were saying, what didn't work, or why does this person keep making the same mistake? And that goes to our individual approach and a true holistic approach of not just looking at the diet or not looking at the water that they're drinking. It's so many other components that make up true holistic health.
Right. So it was just a matter of understanding those components and beginning to shift to be able to offer people the things that really work. For example, over the years, we started to look at a trend with our clients. And what we noticed is that I would say 90% of them, no matter what the problem was, no matter what the issue that they were having, it still came back to something being off with their guts.
Right.
And it wasn't until we got the guts balanced that they were able to really see real and true results.
Right.
So that led us to putting more energy, more time in studying the gut and understanding the whys behind all of this. And now we would say like that's one of our specialties is gut health.
Right.
That's the thing that we focus on. In the holistic health field, we hear all the time, disease, like death starts in the gut or health begins in the gut. So you have to look at that. You have to start there. So we started to make the shift a while ago in really addressing the gut. And now gut health is starting to trend a bit. People are starting to want to focus more on their gut health. But even with all of that, it's still superficial.
I was about to say, it's just scratching the surface. And unfortunately, when things become more mainstream, it's good in a sense because it's getting more exposure. But unfortunately, there's many companies that's going to capitalize on the buzzwords and just slap certain buzzwords on products. And you think you're doing something, but you're not. Yeah.
So the gut is just so important with so many aspects of your health that we focused on that. And then we just try to add on things that we feel are going to be pieces of the puzzle in you trying to get your health together overall. So you don't have to go to all of these different places to try to pull your health together.
Mm-hmm.
We try to provide as much of that as possible to help you on your journey. And if there is something missing that you can get assistance on, we try to help guide you to those outlets. So we take the guesswork out for you. You don't have to figure this stuff out, because a lot of times people are going to their medical providers, they're getting physicals and things like that. And you keep getting these clean bills of health. They keep telling you that everything is okay, but you know that something is wrong.
Right.
You know something is wrong.
Intuitively, you just know.
Right.
Like, I don't feel like I should feel, but you don't want to wait for the other shoe to drop. So what do?
Yeah. You keep looking and you just keep getting this positive results. And it's just like, how aren't you feeling well, but you keep getting these clean bills of health? Like, how does that happen? And it's because like, they're just looking at testing. Like, that's it. And getting tests, that's not the end all. Like, tests are late. A lot of times they're late. You start feeling a certain way before the test results actually start to show it. And if you're not feeling well, then you should be immediately working on your health and trying to improve it, not waiting until you finally get this results.
Mm-hmm.
Because the typical answer is, well, you get a clean bill of health, so we're just going to monitor it.
Right.
And year after year, they monitor, they test, and then it finally shows up and it's like, oh, there it is.
Right. Or you're not aware of what are you doing daily to contribute to making this worse.
Right.
That's the thing. Like, okay, you get the test, something is there, but we're going to monitor it. But you don't know, oh, this food that I'm consuming or this thing that I'm not doing in my life daily or weekly is contributing to my health being impacted negatively.
Yeah. So you continue doing what you're doing, knowing that there's a challenge there, and the challenge progresses to a point where now medical intervention is necessary. When there was an opportunity for you to have the power and you take healing in your own hands and do some things that you can do on your own to change your state of health.
I think for me, that was the part that excited me the most on my health journey when I was in my like mid to late 20s. And I just didn't feel like myself. Like, I would get my exams and things of that nature and nothing really came back. But, I just felt so just old, and old doesn't mean old. It's just, I just didn't feel vibrant. And when I started to learn and implement these things and I felt the shift, that is so empowering and liberating. And it just shifted in me, my mindset and just how I approach life. And that's what's so exciting when I see that light bulb in our clients' eyes, when you start to see like, wow, these things that I'm incorporating, I'm feeling better. I'm feeling the shift. That's like one of the reasons why we do what we do.
Yeah, same here. It's like you just start to feel good about the things that you're doing and how it's affecting you.
Mm-hmm.
And you just want to share that with others because you know that on the other side of that feeling of not being your best is better health. It is mental clarity, energy, and all of the
emotional centeredness.
Yeah, really optimizing your state of being on all levels. Like it's actually possible. And that's one of the reasons why we do this, because like we truly want to help people to optimize their realities from a holistic perspective. Like we have a passion for helping people,
mm-hmm.
and we believe that we can help a lot of people. And it's our mission to help people, especially our people, because we are the sickest. So we have to help us to get out of that state and to understand the whys. Like, why are you feeling like this? How did you get this way?
Right.
You know, and this is not common. This is not something that just happens just because there's a lot of talk that, you know, just being Black, you're automatically more susceptible to certain things like women and fibroids. It's just something that naturally happens. And all of those things are just not true.
Right.
You know, so it's helping people to understand their bodies from a different perspective, but helping to give people the proper tools to really make this a lifestyle change.
Right.
Like we're in the business of getting you well and keeping you well.
Yes.
We're also in the business of preventing problems,
Right.
keeping you balanced or rebalancing your body so the problems never actually happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like like I would rather people come to me for prevention as opposed to coming to me because they're sick,
Right.
and they're not feeling well.
Mm-hmm.
It's so much easier to keep you well than it is to help you to reverse whatever challenges that you're dealing with and rebalancing your body. So
Right.
it's all about really understanding health from a different perspective and learn how to maintain it.
So that pretty much encapsulates our approach to wellness, who we are, and why we do what we do. And in the next and future episodes, we're going to cover the services that we provide. And our services is what we utilize in our approach to wellness when we're working with our clients. In episode number 2 of our preseason series, we're going to talk about our health consultations. So make sure you stay tuned for the next episode. If you receive value from this episode, make sure you share it with anyone you think would benefit from hearing from it. So that is the conclusion of this episode. Thank you for listening. And until next time, live healthier.
Yes, live healthy, everyone. Peace and blessings.
If you're looking to improve and optimize your health using a natural and holistic approach, we would love to work with you. Just visit our website at lifestrengthandhealth.com to learn more about us or to schedule an appointment.